My name is Joseph Jacobi. I was born in a small town about 55 miles of west side of Budapest, Hungary. Well, really I grew up in United States, but I was born in Hungary and I spent 16 and a half years over there before I escaped. And that was right in 1956, November. And I managed to come to the United States in 1957, April.
First of all, my question is, how did you lose your virginity? Can you recall what age and where? And
Well, it was not. I did not lose my virginity in the first encounter. That is somewhat of a strange happening. It almost would be like a tabloid description of group sex. But due to the fact that there were so many of us out in the wheat field with this certain lady who lived across the street from me, who was 3 years older than us 15, 14, and 16-year-old kids. So her demands and our limited knowledge got us there, got us out in. But due to the fact that there is so many onlookers and you are try to experience a sexual encounter the first time, it was not a success story because of the embarrassment and the situation. So now we have to add another 3-4 months to this exploitation of sex, or whatever you call it, exposure to sex. And it was in a different town where my relatives lived. And for some reason, I got a favorable reception from a lot of the teenager girls over there. So at one time, coming home from I have no idea what I was doing, but coming home from a different town, from the railroad station, approaching the town, and of course there was cornfields, wheat fields, whatever, and I was kind of strong-armed by this beautiful girl, and this time it was a success story. So, and I think it was something that benefited her more than myself, because she loved the act itself with a totally innocent person. So that was my impression at that time. I managed to go back to that town quite a few, because my mother's sister lived there, but I so happened I never did find out what happened to her, or I never ran into her. It's a nice memory in the old country where I was born, or let's say even in Italy, Austria, or in Spain. This is almost not a standard, but it happens quite often. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden I jumped on the trail and became a chaser. It took a while for this to soak in. It was years and years later in the United States that I got, let's say, a little bit more active. And this was after high school. My innocence and my being awkward, and so it kind of kept me away from what we would call sexual agenda, because certain people have a sexual agenda because that's what they pursue as the main entertainment, or not putting so much value on relationship, only putting value on sex. And so the 5 minutes is up, isn't it? In the 60s, we had a freedom of sexuality that some of us couldn't comprehend, because we didn't know why the reins of sex were all loose and hardly any discipline. There was no requirement for it. Was what the hippies call free love. But I have no idea where the youngsters are nowadays. I hardly communicate with them. I don't know what they're pursuing. So my knowledge on the young people's level is very limited. I know what I do, and I know what scared me. And let's be honest about it, it's AIDS. You have to make a decision in your life, and hope a person realizes it very early in their life that this could be it. Is it worth it? So something to really think about. So that's what's different. But otherwise, I don't know what's going on as far as entertainment, home parties, and romancing college kids, how they approach this whole system. So I have no idea.